Hi, I'm Sally Gaze. I'm the Archdeacon for Rural Mission in the Diocese of St Edmundsbury and Ipswich, and this is a short reflection for Rural Mission Sunday. Now, last year we had the privilege of welcoming some German pastors to our diocese to think about rural mission, and they went and visited, in particular, some of our work in the Forest Heath area. And so I just want to begin by showing you a little bit of a clip from that time, a little bit of Diane Grano, who is working as the light wave lead in that area of rural mission, and also from some of our German friends as well and what they thought. So watch and enjoy.
God is doing miraculous things that I would never have expected, stepping into a new role, meaning that I need Jesus, basically, and then the Lord is speaking to me through His Word and saying that I don't need to present the gospel through a veil. I don't need a written recommendation. It is the Lord who works in and through me, and so this is the big lesson I think that the Lord is teaching me at the moment in my journey. Please do be praying for those that the Lord will send to join us in this new Lightwave mission that we're starting.
I'm from Germany. I'm here with a group who's exploring fresh expression communities, and today we came here because we're interested in churches who are in the more rural areas. We all don't live in London. Our churches are not, many of them not in big cities, so we came here to see what is happening in smaller places. Diane said this one sentence, which was maybe the best sentence for me today. She said, hospitality is the new way to evangelize. I mean, it's just a simple sentence, but to me it's very inspiring.
So I was really struck by that phrase, hospitality is the new mission. I'm not sure that I'd want to go that far, but certainly hospitality is really, really important in mission today in the 21st century. And so where do we learn hospitality? Maybe you, like me, enjoy the show Come Dine With Me, and in Come Dine With Me they have a series of people offering a meal to others, and they are judged. They're judged on the standard of their home environment, the standard of their menu and their cookery, and the standard of their entertainment. Well, that sort of makes hospitality into a kind of competition, which isn't really the idea of Christian hospitality at all. But I do think that sometimes that mentality that we've got to be good enough, reach a certain standard, that it's all about, how good our offering is something that sort of seeps into us. I love the story of the mum who was offering hospitality to a group of Christian friends, and she invited her daughter to say grace at the beginning of the meal, and the daughter got all shy and said, "But Mum, I don't know what to say." And so Mum, knowing that they said grace regularly, just said, "Just say what you hear your mum saying." And the little daughter bowed her head and she said, "Oh Lord, why did I invite all these people to dinner?" I love that because I think we've all been there sometimes, but also it reminds us of the stress that sometimes we put ourselves under for hospitality, because we think we need to reach a certain kind of standard. And Christian hospitality isn't like that. It's not about how good we are, how good our offering is. It is about how much we love and how far we have attended to the need of the person that we're inviting or being with, to feel welcomed, to feel accepted, and to feel like that they belong. So let's look a little bit at a sort of more biblical model of hospitality. I'm just going to give you 3 thoughts really. First of all, hospitality starts with welcoming Christ into our hearts, and that's what puts us in the right place to be able to offer hospitality to people. in the book of Hebrews, it refers back to the story of Abraham and how he welcomed angels unawares, and it tells us to welcome the stranger because in them we welcome Christ. And so that's what our welcoming of Christ does for us. It helps us to see Christ in every person and to offer hospitality with love. Secondly, it's about receiving as well as giving. We learn hospitality not from come dine with me, but from Jesus. And Jesus was a wandering rabbi, which meant that he relied on other people very often to put a roof over his head at night. And he was somebody who was known for his welcome of all, whether they were tax gatherers, whether they were children, whether they were people who were disabled, people in need of healing, all sorts of people that he welcomed that others didn't in his day. And yet he did that from a position of not having a nice house or any house at all to welcome people to. In our lockdown situation that we are just beginning to come out of now as we speak, one of the things that I've really noticed is the kind of hospitality that we've been able to show even when we can't or couldn't have people in our homes. And one of the ways in which that happened was through phone trees. And I noticed the difference between two different kinds of places. Those places that said, we will phone people who are lonely and in need. And it was all about how they could give. But actually the places where the phone trees worked best was where people said, this is about us creating community. We will phone each other. And it wasn't about some people being receivers and some people being givers. Actually, some people who were isolated and lonely could actually be givers because they could ring others and encourage them and help them. And those people who perceived themselves as being in the stronger position could often benefit from a call from somebody who perhaps they hadn't known particularly well before, but giving them a different insight into life. And so hospitality at its heart is about the creation of community together, not about some offering this wonderful, amazing standard of food or welcome and others just receiving it, but about the give and take of relationship. And that's how Jesus did it. And thirdly, hospitality is a really basic part of discipleship. You'll notice that it's absolutely embedded in the New Testament. If you read the epistles, that were about offering hospitality. In the Gospels, Jesus is receiving hospitality. In the Old Testament, people are giving and receiving hospitality all the time. And we're going to just finish this reflection by listening to Katie read from Acts chapter 16. And this is the story of Lydia. And Lydia, who became a disciple of Jesus through listening to the message of Paul, and her immediate and first reaction is to invite these Christians who brought her this message of good news into her home. And she says to them, if you consider me a believer in God, please come. And as a result of that invitation, you can see that there's this giving. The brand new Christian is able to give, and the Christian missionaries are able to receive. The beauty of hospitality in action, and people looking on, able to see what that Christian love looks like. So listen to this reading, and as we celebrate Rural Mission Sunday, may God bless you both in your giving and in your receiving of hospitality.
The reading is from Acts chapter 16, verse 13 to 17. On the Sabbath, we went outside the city gate to the river, where we expected to find a place of prayer. We sat down and began to speak to the women who had gathered there. One of those listening was a woman from the city of Thyatira named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth. She was a worshipper of God. The Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. When she and the members of her household were baptized, she invited us to her home. "If you consider me a believer in the Lord," she said, "come and stay at my house." And she persuaded us.